Hi, how's everyone? Thanks for coming back. Hello and welcome if you are new. Glad you found me. We're doing 9-9 portal reading today. I hadn't had anything scheduled and then I realized, oh shit, it's the portal. It's 9-9. So let's do that reading today. So nines are almost the end of a cycle. It's like that final breath before you come out of the water, or not the final breath before you enter into a new cycle. Okay. Nine of Wands is putting up boundaries. Nine of Cups is being ready for the 10, but not quite finished yet. You know what I mean? Nine of Swords is the ending of some anxieties, etc. So what I did was I went through the deck and I pulled the World card, because in this World card it looks like she's coming through a portal. So I figured that's a nice way to illustrate the portal we're coming through. The World card also represents the ending of a cycle and triumph and reward, or a completion of a cycle. The world doesn't stop spinning, but it does go in stages. You know what I mean? So, this is coinciding with the opening of a eclipse cycle that just happened on the 7th. So we had the full corn blood moon lunar eclipse on the 7th. A few hours later, the moon entered into a grand trine in water signs. And then 2 days later, today, we are entering the 9-9 portal. So this does have some heavy energies of things ending. I feel, though, that a lot of underneath energy in the changes is resistance. So we'll see if that comes out in the reading today. So I pulled the World card, and all the cards behind the World is part of the cycle that's ending, and all the cards in front of the World is what we might be looking at in the new cycle. So let's explore it that way. So here we have the World in the middle. Behind her was the Ace of Wands. There was an energy boost, a gift of some kind of energy boost that kind of like almost looks like it propelled you, or all of us, the collective, through this portal. It just, I'm reminded of I don't know if anybody used to watch Star Trek. Star Trek Voyager is where this memory is coming from. And there was a very high-powered alien on Voyager, and she was about to transform into like this higher vibration, right? And if she would have done it on the ship, she would have blown the ship apart. So she asked the captain for a shuttle so that she could go out on her own. But before she transcended, there was such a release of energy that she pushed the ship forward. And if you know anything about the Voyager series, it's that they got knocked off course and they had to spend the whole time trying to get back to Earth. So estimates were like 100 years. It was some god awful amount of time that they'd be on there for generations trying to come back. So when the character Kess transcended a humanoid form and became just a being of knowledge and energy, she gave a boost to Voyager and sent them 10,000, well, however many light years closer to home. This is what they're showing me, is this little power nudge through the portal. It sent us further along, gave us a little more energy. I heard it did us a favor, like that character in Voyager did. She didn't have to do that. She could have destroyed everything, but in order to show gratitude to her friends, she used her transformation energy to send them closer to home. And I feel like that is going to play here, because I did see in the future there was a Knight of Swords. So I think that's Libra, Aquarius, Gemini energy. There's a Knight of Swords in the mix somewhere, and that in this deck represents somebody who's trying to find his heart's home. So underneath that Ace of Wands, this is like new projects, renewed momentum, strength, allies, inspiration, and opportunity. So that's what is propelling us through the portal into this new cycle. On the other side of the cycle, on the other side of the portal, we come into meeting the Wheel of Fortune. Now, we do have the wheel on the backside, which is interesting because it holds the magician. Excuse me. It shows the magician holding the Ankh of life, and the card underneath that was the magician proper. It's on the back side, but it is still the magician. So we have, again, like the reading from a couple days ago, two magicians here. So I'm wondering if there's not before I get to the Wheel of Fortune proper meaning, I'm wondering if there's not two different energies in play here pulling against each other. Okay, now I did mention recently about spirit warning that um, with this magician card, you're manifesting, but it's like sometimes you're putting in too much, and put every time you put energy towards that goal, it changes a little bit. Now, that's not saying to step back and not do any of the work. We definitely have to do the work on the 3D here in our own, you know, everyday waking existence. But what they're saying is like, they're showing me how somebody can make a wish and work towards it, but then they're like, oh, no, 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 I want it like this, or no, oh, no, no, I gotta adjust it like this, or oh, no, no, I want to add this. And they're like, fuck, every time you dip your hands into the recipe, we have to start over. And so that's why you're not seeing your results as quickly as you want to, is because every time you fuck with the recipe, we gotta start over. So just chill, do your work on the 3D. Stop messing with the energy. There's a lot of major arcana in play lately. Also with this magician here on the Wheel of Fortune card, this is talking about using your willpower to actually ride out the wheel and influence your fate. Stop working against the flow. Oh, I had something for the flow earlier. Shoot. Hold on, I'll get back to that. So this card is saying in the other side of the portal, there's still going to be some time turning. I heard, because the wheel is always turning. But at this point, on the other side of the portal, at this moment, and maybe for a couple weeks, because then we'll be getting into the energy of the 1010 portal. So this will be for like the next couple weeks. Ride it out a little bit. Just take a break and let the wheel turn, okay? Um, they're showing me people who are trying to hold the wheel back, and that never works. That's major arcana. That's divine energy. We don't control that kind of energy. You just have to, sign of the cross, put your head between your knees, bless up to the Lord, and hold on. And it's not always that bad, okay? It's like now they're showing me like water slide, where you're trudging and trudging and trudging up the ladder, up the stairs, however high it may be. Sometimes they get pretty high. But the work is getting up the ladder, and then the wheel turning is you just going down the slide. You are now at the momentum's mercy, and that's what it feels like with this wheel turning and the portal opening, along with the lunar eclipse cycle opening. Now we're on the down ride, or the up ride, and we're at the mercy of that energy. So they're saying, how long does that last? How long does a water ride like that last? Or the big slides we used to go down when we were kids at the fair, the ones that had the big bumps. How long does that ride last? 10 seconds? 30 seconds? 45 seconds? I mean, to us, it's like this this moment in time where we are completely at the mercy of the laws of gravity, right? So they're saying that at the on the other side of the portal, coming into this energy, is that kind of situation where we're just coming through. We just landed on the wheel. Hold on, it's you're at the mercy of the not elements, but the physics right now. But it's not going to last long. That's what they're saying. Those rides are really slow. So this is probably for the next couple weeks. So all you do when you are on that ride, you're either reveling in it, enjoying it, screaming your head off because you're afraid of it, hoping nothing goes wrong, keeping your hands and toes in, the upright positions, stuff like that. And then, you come out the other end in the pool and everything is copacetic. But for those few moments on the other side of the portal when we're, going down that slide, it's chaos. But when we get down, when we're at the bottom and we look up and you look at the height from which you just it's like, oh my God. A lot of people look back and go, I can't believe I survived that. A lot of people look back and go, that was a lot of fun. That was invigorating. That was, you know, I'm excited by that. They want to do it again. So that's kind of what the energy I feel from this is. Now, the card is saying to use your willpower to ride the wheel and influence your fate. You make your destiny. And then right after the you make your destiny card, you've got the magician. You making your destiny. Now, granted, it is on the backside. He's facing, I believe, a setting sun, and he's got the infinity symbol. Behind him is the shooting star of a new direction. And this is talking about quiet focus, self-reliance, concentration, and not being distracted. I love that. So wait, I'm going to back up just a little bit and see the influences that we're coming away from. So there was a power boost here, like Cass from Star Trek, and we were propelled through the portal. But influencing that was this Eight of Pentacles energy. Now, the Eight of Pentacles is honing your skills. It's I heard doing what you're good at. See? Now, on the backside, this may be talking about passing something down. I heard you're shedding something and you gave it to somebody else. Okay, something that you worked hard on. But on the front side, these pentacles are tangible. These are made and posted up, right? And now he's working on the last one. This is tangible results. But on this side, they're like an illusion here. They're just light. It's like the light's shining through a window and that's the shadow. So these are not tangible. These are in the future, possibly. And then behind that, you can see like a little kid representing the future watching you make these things in order to give to the future later on. I feel like somebody just passed down what they were working on, but we've got more Capricorn energy here with the devil. Don't get scared. The devil's not necessarily terrible. But it is servitude and obligation. This is burden, bondage, loss of freedom, and toil. Yeah, that's definitely Capricorn energy. Toil. Keep your nose to the grindstone and learn all your lessons. You didn't perfect it, you got to do it again. Now, this talks about cycles too, things that you can't get away from. The devil rules addiction and obligation and things that, contracts that you entered into at one point as the lovers card, because the lovers are here on the devil. This is a commitment that turned toxic. It could be with a person, it could be a situation. I have the feeling it might have to do with legacy and money for some people, because we do have the Eight of Pentacles here, and then the devil is Capricorn. So this could be somebody seeing that what they worked for was it was a burden. I just feel like somebody shed something, especially they're like, here, you handle this to somebody else. Or I'm going to put it off for the future, right? I worked for this for the future, and then they're stuck behind this devil energy. Servitude, obligation, burden. Yeah, it's a burden, but this is like, again, Capricorn energy. Capricorns take on those burdens of things that are expected, obligations and duty, and they make that their mantle sometimes. So maybe somebody had a lot of pride in what they were doing, even though they knew that they were stuck in this position. I heard somebody making the best of it, even though whatever position we were in was very toxic. The key to the devil is the lovers are there, and but their chains are very loose. So it's a it's a reminder that whatever cycle you are stuck in, even if this devil energy is tormenting you because you have these obligations and you can't get away, even though it seems so heavy and like a punishment, you're in charge of those chains. You can take them off at any time. The backside of this card is the lovers took their chains off and they made a break for it, and while the devil had his back turned. So it feels like somebody's somebody left the situation because it was just too burdensome. And I heard, what am I working for? Pass down your expertise, teach, mentor, and legacy. Yeah. And I heard that's what I'm working for. I'm working for a possible future so I can hand something down. But I believe that it was in good faith, but it wasn't it was just chaining you down. Somebody came at it from a very King of Cups standpoint. This may be a King of Cups involved. It is safe to feel joy again and be playful. I love that. Because underneath is that Two of Cups. So this was all before the portal changed, okay? That King of Cups is somebody who has definitely been through enough in soul work in order to have control over his emotions. It's not that he doesn't feel them deeply. It's because the King of Pentacles, I mean, the King of Cups is Pisces energy. Pisces does rule the deep subconscious, the deep ocean, those waters that are crushing and dark. He knows those waters quite well, and he's not afraid of them. He's also not their servant. So this King of Cups energy is somebody who is very familiar with the deep subconscious, the deep feelings, the deep connections, the deep intuition, but he's no longer tumbled by them. I heard tumult. I heard the word they gave me was tumultuated. Okay, I'm not making new words. You got to keep that one. He's not tumbled by those emotions anymore. He rules them. Okay, so somebody may have had to have a real come to themselves moment about how they feel, about what they've been working on all this time in order to leave something behind when they get to this end of a cycle. And they did it out of love because there's that Two of Cups underneath there. There's that Knight of Swords. I told you. This is somebody, a mind that wanders hides a heart that is seeking home. So yeah, somebody is a little bit stir crazy. I'll leave it like that. In the last cycle, we got stir crazy at the end. Working for something that maybe wasn't panning out, okay? And then Ace of Wands, somebody pokes us with a, red hot poker right in the booty, and we go through the portal. Now we're on this side with the wheel. The wheel and the world, sometimes I get them mixed up in the Rider-Waite because they do look very similar. They both have the four fixed signs. We've got Aquarius, Scorpio, Leo, and Taurus, so that might play in. Um, but this is saying now that you've gone forward away from that other cycle, you're going to have that whoa kind of feeling where you're riding the wheel as it turns into this new energy on this side of the portal. Now we're working with 9-9. 9 energy is standing out for me, is that 9 of Wands energy, talking about boundaries, talking about putting up boundaries. And I know what they were giving me earlier was the people who had been putting up boundaries with their family and friends and coworkers and neighbors about political things, how it's not anymore an energy of, oh, you just have a different opinion, that we can still be friends. People have been given the example of pineapple on pizza is an opinion, but whether or not I have human rights because I look different than you, that's not an opinion. That is a failure in your morality. And my boundaries are, I don't want you in my life anymore. And those are some very hard decisions and very hard boundaries that we are exploring right now as a society with what's going on politically. Now, that's what they were saying earlier when I was contemplating that 9 of Wands, but that's not the only thing that can cover. This is it's actually here. I'm amazed. Where'd it go? Oh, I thought it was here. Oh, I must have shuffled it out. Oh, okay. I thought we had the 9 of Wands, but the 9, and as the 9 of Swords, it's that ending of that kind of mental anguish, right? And the 9 of Cups is the ending, almost to the culmination of that 10 of Cups. The only thing missing from the 9 of Cups is your person, your partner. The person in the card is by himself, but he's got all his cups in a row and he's ready, and he's proud of how he got there, and he's proud of his setup, and he's healed and ready, so we're at the end, and here we have the Magician on the backside talking about quiet focus, self-reliance, concentration, and not being distracted, because there is a 5 of Pentacles here, but it is on the reverse side, which is good. The 5 of Pentacles usually is that there's loss, right? That pentacle loss of money, loss of status, some kind of fall, okay? And usually the person there is in the cold, in rags, and they're broke, they're disheveled, and they're sitting outside this stone building. But the key to the card is that stained glass window that is lit from within is telling you that there is help if you raise your face and actually look at it. It's right there, okay? On the backside, this is somebody who has finally taken the help, and not see, they were outside on this side of the card. They were sitting outside. Now they're sitting inside and they're recovering. This is coming back to yourself, making amends, and yeah, I'll come back to that. Quiet, focus, concentration, coming back to yourself. Yeah. Making amends. I heard making amends with you, with yourself. Right? What did I say earlier? Coming to sorry, I stutter. Not a come to Jesus moment. It's a come back to yourself moment. Okay? And here we have the 3 of Wands. All right. Anticipation. Preparing for something in the future. Something at a distance. Prepare. Oh boy. Honor your strength in balance of feeling and action. I love that. Saying prepare. We do have a King of Wands on the backside and Strength on the backside. There's the Devil again. We've got... So I do love that. Well, let me get to the the King of Wands first. We got the King of Wands here. He's got his back turned, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's in any detrimental energy. We've got him on the front here on a sunny day, looking like Henry VIII there. But, he earned that position. But on the back, it's nighttime. He's sitting in the dark. He's sitting with his back turned. He's sitting by himself. You can't really see it, but in the tree here, there's a huge, giant snake wrapping up around the tree. And it's not any danger to the king. It's there as like a companion to the king. That represents that fiery kundalini energy coming up from the root chakra and invigorating you. Somebody may need to do some kundalini cleaning. That's how I say it. But you can find meditations on YouTube where it helps to realign the energy points. But this is talking about recharging and mastering your passions. So we've got two kings here talking about mastering themselves, and I like that. That's good, healthy, masculine energy. It's about fucking time, you guys. One is mastering his emotions, but again, I want you to remember, mastering emotions does not mean abusing them. It does not mean forcing them. It does not mean being in the negative ones even more. Like some people were like, I'd rather be macho than show any affection. Okay, well, that's not mastering your emotions. That's being afraid of them. Okay, so we've got two kings here that are mastering their emotions. I like this King of Wands, the reverse, because there is like, I feel like a recharge while this new cycle is picking up. Okay, King Wands, that's fire energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. I usually give the King to Saggy because it's the higher of the two signs, but any of the fire signs can be in their King energy, and it also can be feminine. This is just somebody who is being what's the word, frugal. I think that frugal with their vitality. Okay, not just mental energy. This is action. This is, force of will. Now, the Wheel of Fortune is talking about willpower, using your willpower to ride the wheel instead of trying to control it. And I know that that King of Wands can sometimes be pretty controlling if he's in his ego too much. This seems like somebody who was like, man, that fucking knocked me for a loop. I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna, I'm gonna reserve my energy for me. And it just could be as simple as, I'm not taking the kids anywhere, I'm not making dinner for you. I'm just going to, please give me some time for me. Okay? And that may be something that other people are using to guilt you into not putting that energy into you. We do have strength here. Strength on the reverse side. This is balancing. Now, there's another one talking about balance. Hang on, what was the other one? So the wheel is talking about balancing. No, is that the one? Oh, I think it's the Magician. Which one was talking about balancing? Nope. Something about power and passion. I'll find it. So strength here on the front side is balancing power and peace. Okay, that's when people are like, well, how do I find the strength to? And it's how you unlock it That's what you're really trying to do. You're trying to unlock where your strength can come in, is balancing your power and your peace. Okay, what do you have power over? When you function in that energy, you will find your peace. When you are peaceful in your energy, you hold your power. Okay. Here on the backside is strength, and right in front of them is the devil from the devil card. Okay. It's like somebody got away and the devil is like, excuse me, I'm still here. They're showing me this is Saturn in retrograde right now, going through Pisces, I believe. Saturn is in retrograde, I think, with Neptune in Pisces in tropical. So the only reason I'm getting that is because we had the devil card over here, and then we go a little bit further, and he pops up again in one of the other cards. You know, we had it in when the lovers made a break for it, and now he turned around and he's like, excuse me, we're in the middle of something. And what it is that karmic lessons, okay? The devil keeps coming back to test you and tempt you to see that you are strong enough to learn the fucking karmic lessons and tell him to get the fuck. I've already done there. I've already been there. I've already done them. I've already, learned that lesson. I'm not coming back. Okay? And in this card, Strength and the Lion, or I'm sorry, the Empress and the Lion together make strength. Okay? That could be Libra and Leo. Okay? With some Capricorn there because of the devil. So it's like they're so they're so disciplined now with being in your power and your peace that the devil's gonna come back as a temptation, and you're gonna be like, fuck off, I've already seen this. Because look at him, he's standing there with like his hands on his hips, like, excuse me, aren't you afraid of me? Don't you see me here? Don't you know that we still have obligation? You still have this obligation. And again, it could be addiction. It could be being beholden to somebody else. This could be like in a marriage where you're trying to find your strength to move on through the portal to a new cycle. And maybe the devil is the obligation of the old relationship. And here it is popping up again after you've been working on yourself. You know, underneath that is that Nine of Pentacles. This is, are you open to partnership because you are stable and ready? Fantastic. I love that. We're going to get some theme cards. I hope this is resonating, you guys. I hope you are finding these messages for your highest good. If you are vibing with my content, please leave me a like. Please share my video. Subscribe. What's the other one? Like, share, comment, and subscribe. I love getting comments, but I never do. So if you'd like to leave me a comment, if you'd like to get some clarity on some of the cards that we see here. Oh, anticipation, that's right. Preparing for something in the future, the distance. What is it? It's getting past that devil energy. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. There is help here, right? You've come through the portal, and it's almost like Sonic hitting something and all the rings fell out, but he just kind of has to keep running. So it's like you came through this portal, which does looks like a ring, and the wheel is turning, and it kind of feels like, especially with that Five of Pentacles and the Eight of Pentacles, you might, I heard the ring sound from Sonic, so you might hit the side of the slide as you're sliding down, and maybe something falls out of your pocket. Now that is analogy, okay? I'm using the picture in order to illustrate the idea that in this down, not even a down spiral, it could be going up, whatever, wherever we are in that wheel spin. Hold on, because you might lose something along the way, right? But you can manifest something else. and something better, because what is being flung away from you while you go through this next part of the cycle is things that were devil energy, things that held you back, things that gave you problems with your self-worth, maybe things that were draining your money, your energy, duty that you said to somebody. You entered into a connection and you entered into it with good intentions. This could be a relationship, it could be a job, anything that you enter into with another person, and then it went sour. So that's flying away from you. You know, the Five of Pentacles, the loss is flying away from you. And even though we might lose some things as you purge coming through that portal, it's making room to be replaced by other things that we are definitely in a energy to be manifesting for ourselves in this new cycle. So don't get distracted. Quiet focus. There might be a couple people coming in. We've got a couple knights, a couple kings. Got that Knight of Swords. It could be your energy wherever you have the air energy in your chart. This is somebody whose heart is looking for its home. Okay, that was what propelled us through the portal. I mean, time spins. We were going to go through the portal, like, you know, whether we want to or not. We don't control that because that's divine energy. But for some, coming through that portal is because the way that we want to go through is the way that we hope will take our hearts back to a home. So we've got blocks. Go back to the basics. And that's really admirable in this new cycle. We did not get the full energy, but whenever you start something new, you want to go into it without the baggage of something else, right? Because you can't do it well if your energy is still being taken up by something from the past. I don't know how many times I've tried to, like, maybe make a new dish. But something from earlier in the day is upsetting me, and that energy maybe distracts. You know, you get distracted, or you you misread the oh, sorry, you misread the ingredients and something goes wrong. Don't get distracted. Okay. Oh, storm warning. See, that's tower energy, but it's minor tower energy. This is a storm, but it's not to destroy anything. It's just metaphorically washing down the gutters. Okay, you know, when you throw things out of the house and it ends up in the gutters, well, this is coming through to wash that all away. It says, not all storms come to disrupt your life, some come to clear your path. So yeah, this is upheaval and restructuring, but I don't get any negativity here. I mean, there is the devil energy, but I don't think that's playing in with the tower. It could be just the idea of going through a new cycle, leaving some things behind, maybe putting up those boundaries and working on you. Well, we've got the Eight of Wands, incoming communication, a letter, information, news, open correspondence, or a conversation. There are a lot of people here. Got the King of Cups, that Pisces energy, coming with a Two of Cups. Underneath as a Knight of Swords, somebody coming in looking for their heart's home. Now under that there is a Knight of Cups energy, but that's like 5 cards down, and I didn't want to go that far down. So here we've got the King of Wands dealing with something. Dealing with that devil energy, trying to be strong. We also have the Apple of Temptation. I think I mentioned temptation earlier. And then we have Archangel Raphael, the healer. Again, snake energy. Now, on this card, you can see it. Here's the snake, the Kundalini snake of healing, okay? On the King of Wands on the reverse, the snake is over here, this huge snake wrapping around the tree on this side. So we do have snake energy. Interestingly, snake energy is feminine energy. So on that King of Wands, he may be tapping into some feminine energy in order to bring that Kundalini um, into alignment. This is Archangel Raphael, which means God heals. This is healing of mind and body and soul, having compassion for yourself and others, creativity, healing addictions. Remember, we're talking about the devil card. The devil was here twice in two different cards. So there could be something that your soul or your karma is still beholden to. It could be something toxic, and they just describe that as an addiction. You can be addicted to people. You can be addicted to certain being treated in a certain way. You can also be addicted to reacting to things in a certain way. All those things are karmic lessons that the devil tries to help us learn through. This is a green light. Ask for help. This is healing of injury inside and out. So again, remember I suggested that Kundalini binaural beats or solfeggio music, any kind of um, audio healing videos for chakra, realigning chakras. You can do Reiki, some kind of energy realignment. Someone wants to be realigned. It could even be in a giggity way. Get your giggity. Rattle, rattle, thunder, clatter. And that's too many. What's this? Free yourself. Time to take your life back. I love when this card comes up right after the devil, because the devil talks about being in chains and being in obligation, being in servitude, being in bondage, being burdened by something. And then we get the free yourself card, and that's breaking out of that prison. Love it. What's this? Remember, you are spirit. Connect. I heard connect. I heard reconnect back to yourself. Listen. Be still. Listen, be still, know, and ascend. Talk about ascension. Kess was ascending, and right before she changed shape, she let out a powerful power surge. That's what I was talking about. So, yeah, shedding something is gonna like release some kind of big power bomb. 999, look at that. Completion. Completion coming. Aspects of a situation are coming to an end. Preserve what you can and purge what you don't need. 999. Do I want a couple more, or do I want that to end there? I get a couple more. Oh, yeah, if you vibe with my content, I am available for personal readings and birth chart inquiries. So my email, Venmo, and Cash App are in the description. Okay, Hermit tried popping out this third time, so I'm going to take him. Remember, you are water. Cry, feel, cleanse, flow, and let go. I heard tell that to the king. So if there's someone here that has King of Wands energy, that feminine kind of water energy, crying and feeling and cleansing, yeah, embrace that shit. And okay, yeah, the Hermit. This is Virgo energy. Solitude, introspection, withdrawal, um, tapping into your higher self and getting inner guidance. Okay, and that kind of goes along with remember your spirit, because it says connect, be still. This is talking about meditating and getting in touch with your inner higher self. So I heard once a long time ago that prayer is asking God for intercession, right? Please help me, blah, 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 Hail Mary, full of grace, things like that. We pray when we need something, when we want to connect. But meditating is listening for direction on how to make that happen. Okay? 555, change. Time for you to embrace change and follow a new path. Okay, and then we go, oh no, we got a plot twist. Uh-oh. There's a plot twist. What is the plot twist? I wonder if it's the Knight of Swords. What's the plot twist? Uh-oh. Oh, now you don't want to answer? What's the plot twist here? Oh, the Star. A blessing, a healing, a wish, a direction, a new direction, renewal, and finding your way. Oh, that's great. That Knight of Swords, that Libra Aquarius energy is going to find their way. Now remember, when I say that, that could be another person in your energy, or it could be you, wherever in your chart you have that Aquarius Libra energy. Okay, you're going to be looking for a new direction. We have here again the red sun. This is waking up to your spiritual path. This is intense emotion and passion, deep understanding, a spiritual awakening, and divine communication. You're going to find that divine communication when you allow yourself to reconnect with yourself. Okay? We are the tin can that we are listening to in order to connect to God. Okay? We are that end of the tin can. So you got to listen. Because a lot of times, we even remember when we would use that stuff when we were a kid? We could hear, but it was very muffled. It sounded very tinny. So even if you're hearing, even if you're listening, you got to listen closely. Because sometimes spirit is quiet. I know, frustrating. So that's what I have. I love that 999 came out for our 99 portal reading. There was an energy surge to bless our entryway into this new cycle. Ride it out for a little bit. It's gonna get some energy that's clearing up it for so our way can be a little bit clearer. That storm warning card came through. Something's coming through to clear the path. While we're there, we're supposed to be doing some real deep inner work. Okay, we got to come to a moment with ourselves where we are very honest with what we are putting aside. With that Eight of Pentacles on the reverse, what are we putting aside for, that we were working on, and what are we manifesting going forward? There is going to be some loneliness and frustration here with that Five of Pentacles on the reverse. Somebody's just coming in from the cold. They're warming their feet. They're kind of lamenting the situation they were in, but it's saying come back to yourself. Okay, make amends with yourself. Break that glass and give yourself your own help for a minute. Under that, we had that Three of Wands, that anticipation, preparing for an embark in order to go on on a ship, right? You embark. Don't make fun of me. I know words. Preparing for something in the future. Okay, so this is like, again, preparing something for the future. You guys, you got this. You got this. To get out of your own way. Make your plans, work towards them, but don't overdo it. Okay, definitely put energy into your own healing, into getting your own spiritual bearings in this new path, in this new cycle. Preserve what you, I heard, preserve what you deem will be valuable, and purge whatever was holding you back. Okay, that's what I have. Tomorrow is Thursday. I can't remember what I have planned for Thursdays. But I was gonna get to a hidden truth, but I switched it out for this portal reading. So maybe tomorrow we'll do a hidden truth and a zodiac sign. Okay, thanks so much. Until I see you again in the next reading, thanks for sticking with me. Okay, bye.